Please be seated. Please help me give a round of applause to Professor Carl Moman, our Professor Emeritus in Music, for that beautiful organ prelude today. I'm Dwayne Frazier, and I have the privilege of serving as the university's provost, as the chief academic officer for the institution. Welcome, and welcome to those that are watching around the world, from Ecuador to Nigeria to Australia to so many different places. We are very happy that you're watching this service today, even if you're all the way across in California, all the way here to Virginia or Florida, or just in the chapel watching the service or with us here. Welcome, and welcome to this commencement for Iowa Wesleyan University. This is a special day, the most important day in the life of an institution. This is graduation day. It's a fantastic achievement for each of you to be here, and I'm so proud, we all are, to be able to share this moment with each of you. This is our first service that has been open to public on the campus in over a year, and as we continue to live in this world of a midst of a pandemic that's all across the globe, we take a moment to just pause and think about all of those that have lost their lives in this global pandemic of COVID-19. Today, we are here together to celebrate the most important asset of our institution, the lifeblood of the institution, our students. For 179 years, Iowa Wesleyan has been training students to become future leaders, to become leaders such as teachers and police, astronauts, physicists, healthcare providers, Time Person of the Year, first female lawyer in American history, trailblazers, many, many more. But this does not happen by accident. It is because of the dedication of our students and the power of teaching that resonates on this campus that literally changes lives. I may be biased, and I'm completely okay with that, but I honestly believe we have the best collection of faculty and teachers in the region, certainly one of the most dedicated in the entire country, right here at this institution, at Iowa Wesleyan University. If you are a faculty member for Iowa Wesleyan, I ask that you stand so that we can recognize you. As we move forward with our service, it's with great pleasure that I welcome to the stage Reverend Dave Brock Wagner. He's our pastor at the First United Methodist Church, right here in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. It's our sister church to the university. Pastor Brock Wagner also serves on our board of trustees. He'll lead us in an opening invocation, so please stand if you're able. Pastor?
Let us pray. Oh God, we come before you this day. We come before you, the one who gives us wisdom, discernment, the one who, with great knowledge, we are yet foolish. God, we come before you this day, and we come before you with thanks. We are thankful for all the work and effort that has gone into the past 4 years, 5 years plus, to be where we are today. We give you thanks for those family members, those friends, those people who have stood behind us, in front of us, encouraging us, keeping us from falling down, and when we have fallen, help us to stand. Lord, we come before you this day and we give you thanks. Help us continue to praise your name in all we do, not just this day, but in each day of our lives. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. During the pandemic, we haven't had the opportunity to hear this group as much and hear our music program, so every moment we do, we take great pride. I would like to now welcome the Iowa Wesleyan Concert Choir to come forward under the direction of Blair Buffington. Professor Buffington, Students, the floor is yours. As always, an amazing performance by our choir. Once again, let's give a big hand for all of our music program. They'll perform a little bit later as well today. You will see some of our graduates walk out. You'll see some walk up off the stage because they're actually singing in our choir. So if you're wondering what's going on there, but they'll be back here. It is now at this moment that it's my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the 30th president of Iowa Wesleyan University, as well as the very first female president in our storied 179 years of history, Christine Plunkett. Chris has held administrative and executive positions in leadership, accounting, and finance for more than 25 years, including 20 years in secondary and in higher education, and several years as a technology consultant and small business owner. Through the Registry of Colleges and Universities, she joined the executive team at Iowa Wesleyan University in 2015 as our vice president for finance and treasury, and then became our president in July 2019. Prior to joining Iowa Wesleyan, President Plunkett served in executive positions for 7 years at Burlington College in Burlington, Vermont, including 2 years as their president. Please help me to welcome to the stage our president, Christine Plunkett.
Thank you, Dr. Frazier. Welcome. Today's ceremony is truly a momentous occasion. You, our graduating students, have weathered the challenges of one of our nation's most unsettling years. It's been an extraordinary time of sacrifice in the face of a global pandemic. The traditional joys of college life were turned upside down as we asked you to don masks, socially distance, and isolate yourselves. We know how challenging this has been, but you have persevered. You've chosen to find the bright spots and focus on the positive and meaningful future. You've continued to expand your intellect, write poetry, make music, and play sports. I couldn't be prouder of you for remaining true to our Iowa Wesleyan values in the face of uncertainty. You've patiently adapted and found new ways to be together in community. You've given hours of time in service to others. You've discovered your capacity for weathering adversity, a strength that will serve you for the rest of your lives. And you've exhibited courage during a time of great challenge. As we honor all of our graduates today, it's my great privilege to announce this year's recipients of the President's Award and the Chadwick Teacher of the Year Award. The President's Award recognizes a graduating senior who has demonstrated responsible and unselfish use of talent and leadership through their engagement in campus activities throughout their entire undergraduate experience. Nominees must be in high academic standing with a minimum cumulative grade point average of 3.0 and must have modeled exemplary academic effort and engagement. This year's recipient has held officer positions or been actively engaged in the Behavioral Science Club, the Gay Straight Alliance, Theta Sigma Rho, the Student Union Board, and the Melanin Appreciation Club. She served as a resident assistant for 3 years and as an academic tutor in statistics, psychology, sociology, and history for 2 years. She's been an active participant in the IW choir and served as an IW tour guide and participated in the Arkansas Relief Service trip in 2017. This year's recipient earned third team all-conference honors as a member of IW's Women's Distance Medley Relay team at the SLIAC Indoor Championships in February. And she is currently 7th on IW's all-time record list in the weight throw with a throw of 6.2 meters. Academically, our recipient has had many achievements, including being named to the Dean's List numerous times. She's been a leader in the psychology program for a number of years, mentoring freshmen who are entering the program and tutoring students in the Academic Success Center. She's been a teaching assistant for the cognitive psychology class, leading class discussions developing curriculum and ensuring that students understand difficult material. She's also selflessly volunteered her time to assist in other classes. It is my distinct honor and privilege to award the 2021 President's Award to Veronica Morgan. Veronica demonstrates the traits of an inspirational leader who will go far in life. Congratulations, Veronica.
Thank you, President Plunkett. Good afternoon, everyone. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Veronica Morgan, but most of you call me V. Like many of you, being a first-generation college student myself, all I can say is, wow, here we are. We did it. Who would have thought we'd all be sitting here together, studying the next chapter of our lives? We have all come such a long way to get to where we are currently sitting, and I'm super stoked to be here. I want to start by having you close your eyes. Imagine freshman year. Everything you wanted to do, everything you wanted to experience, and everything you wanted to accomplish. Now open your eyes and look where you're sitting. When I first made my decision to come to Iowa Wesleyan, all I knew was that I wanted to go to a small school with a tight community, because that's all I knew. When I first visited Iowa Wesleyan, I just knew this was a school for me. When coming here freshman year, I knew this school was going to give me countless opportunities and challenge me to put my best self first. Iowa Wesleyan will always hold a special place in my heart. The people here are something special, and you can be anything and everything you want. Things that people tend to say you can't do both or are the opposite, I did. For example, I was in athletics, but I was also a music nerd in choir. I was in a sorority, yet I was also a resident assistant. Here at Iowa Wesleyan, you can do everything you want and you don't have to choose. Since being here at Iowa Wesleyan, I have found myself in what type of person I want to become. Some of you may or may not know, but I used to be pretty shy. And if you know me pretty well, you're probably thinking, Veronica, shy? Okay, but it's true. And all I remember is telling myself, why not? Why not take chances? Why not say hi to everyone? Why not make genuine friendships? Who cares if I fall or embarrass myself? And if any of you remember me falling sophomore year on the science hall stairs, well, there you have it. I decided to start getting involved because at this school I saw the potential it had and what potential it had for me to become a leader. I wanted to take advantage of all those opportunities. I did not want to just sit in my dorm room all 4 years. They say college is the best experience, so I said, let's make it happen. That one moment, I decided to truly be myself and take chances. I would like to think that's what helped me get to where I am today. I went from the girl on her first day of freshman year, raising her hand to see if I could use the restroom, to now presenting material in front of the class, now speaking to all of you today. I'm not standing here to tell you about myself or what lies after us. I'm standing here to tell each and every one of you to feel special, to know those who classmates around you, to get to be part of the Iowa Wesleyan family. I would like to take a moment to reflect on all of our memories we have created the past 4 years. This includes all the 2 a.m. McDonald's runs, late night homework assignments due to procrastination, Caitlin knows a lot about that, early lectures, homecoming and athletic events, and ramen noodle meals almost every night. Speaking of 2 a.m. McDonald's runs, I specifically remember one time freshman year, I was hanging out with a group of friends, not going to mention any names, but Caitlin, Corey, and Carter. And if you know McDonald's in Mount Pleasant, at 2 a.m. it is extremely slow. We were waiting in line for about an hour. We were finally on our way back to the dorms when all of a sudden we heard a very loud scream and we slammed on the brakes. Scared, we were wondering what happened. It was Carter. We asked what was wrong, and he said that they forgot his buffalo sauce. He made us go all the way back to get buffalo sauce. And I think that's the crazy thing about college is that you'll meet so many different types of people. Those emotional about buffalo sauce, those nerds always in the lab like Lena Hendrickson, or those who never have any idea what's going on like Joanna. However, with all the good and everything we've been through, I can say that Iowa Wesleyan's class of 2021 is hands down one of the strongest classes yet. I specifically remember November 2018, sophomore year, the last time we were all sitting in here, the bleachers, of uncertain of what the future of Iowa Wesleyan held. A lot of us scared, yet we pushed through it, and we were able to stay. Then junior year, pandemic started, spring of 2020, us being all sent home with our courses strictly online. Now senior year, here we are, where we're asked to socially distance, wear masks, have hybrid classes, yet we can still continue our education and do what seemed to be the impossible. We persevered, were tenacious, and accomplished everything that we wanted. I think that anyone that gets to meet any of you will know how strong you all are and what each and every one of you is capable of. Not only do us as a class get together and act like one, but we truly stayed together and showed what it meant to have the power of a Tiger family. Graduation to you might mean checking something off your list or getting out of Mount Pleasant, Iowa and never looking back. This will be the last time we're all in the same room together with the memories we created, and all we can do is replay them in the back of our mind and wish it slowed down just a little. I like to think of my college experience like a roller coaster. It was really scary to get on and intimidating. Yet once we got on, there were a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and a lot of unexpected turns. But we made it to the end. Lastly, I just want to thank everyone who supported me on this crazy journey. I want to thank my parents for believing in me, my teammates, coaches, and choir family for supporting me every single day, welcoming me, and dealing with me. Not to mention, I want to thank the wonderful faculty and staff for their support, with a special shout out to Professor Huff, Professor Hanson, and Katie and Louise Aranda. Of course, I want to thank all of my friends, whether we've been friends since freshman year or just became friends. You all will have a special place in my heart, and I am incredibly grateful to get to know each and every one of you. As I wrap up here, I just want to leave you with this. Whatever the next steps are in your life, go out and give it your all and live in the moment. I encourage you to live your life. Ed Helms once said, "Don't be afraid of fear because it sharpens you, it challenges you, it makes you stronger. And when you run away from fear, you also run away from the opportunity to be your best possible self." Again, congratulations, class of 2021. Go Tigers, and thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Our next award recognizes excellence in teaching. Each year, the university honors excellence in teaching by bestowing the Chadwick Teacher of the Year Award upon a deserving faculty member nominated and chosen by his or her faculty colleagues and by students. The Chadwick Award is one of the university's most prestigious awards, and it has been presented at Iowa Wesleyan since 1971. This award was created and named in memory of Dr. J. Raymond Chadwick, who served as the president of Iowa Wesleyan from 1950 to 1961, and for whom the Chadwick Library is named. The recipient of this award must demonstrate exceptional performance in 4 domains: academic and professional excellence, quality of interactions with students, development of effective programs with high quality, and support of student growth and development. First, I'd like us to give a round of applause to the 2021 finalists for the Chadwick Teacher of the Year. Would you please stand when I read your names? Jennifer Krull, Division of Business; Shauna Hudson, Division of Education; and Paula Vallone, Division of Science. All 3 are outstanding candidates, and we are very proud of each of them. This year's recipient of the Chadwick Award is no stranger to anyone on campus, and certainly not to students in her discipline. One student had this to say in her nomination of the candidate: "She has been one of the most helpful professors I've ever had in my education. This has been a really rough semester for me, and she has gone above and beyond to check in and make sure I succeed. I cannot think of anyone better for this award." Our recipient is known throughout campus for her strong and comforting voice to her students and colleagues. She will always go the extra mile for her students. Another nominator had this to say: "She genuinely cares about every student's level of learning. She teaches in a way that is beneficial for all students. If you ever need help with anything, even outside of classwork, she is there for you. She has greatly impacted my college experience in a positive way." Another student said, "My experience at Iowa Wesleyan with her has been enriching, stimulating, and has directly influenced my career path." But the praises are not only from her students, they are echoed by her colleagues. One colleague had this to say about our recipient: "I frequently hear students praise her teaching methods and the quality of learning achieved in her courses. She sets high expectations, yet makes sure students have the tools needed to meet them. Our recipient is an active leader on campus through her involvement with committees and shared governance. She serves on the Faculty Executive Committee, the Evaluation, Rank, and Tenure Committee, the Faculty Development Committee, and the Service Learning and Community Engagement Committee. For a period in her career, she also served as the chair of the Division of Education. Another faculty member said, "Students love how she challenges them to think critically about the concepts they are learning." Our provost, Dr. Frazier, had this to say: "Dr. Shauna Hudson is one of the most experienced and dedicated classroom instructors you will find at any institution across our country. She has a genuine zeal and passion for teaching that is deeply rooted in her strong faith and love for people. She is an amazing family person, as evidenced in her relationship with her two children, Brendan and Reese, and loving husband, Chad. Dr. Shauna Hudson, please come forward so we can recognize you." A special thanks to Chad and the children for being here to surprise Shauna today. Dr. Hudson. Dr. Hudson, all of us at Iowa Wesleyan are proud of you and honored to name you the 2021 recipient of the Chadwick Teacher of the Year.
Fellow faculty, or should I say friends, I want to thank you. To the new faculty, thank you for challenging me to hone my craft. And to the veteran faculty, thank you for reminding me why we do this each day. Students, I haven't had all of you in class, but for those of you I've had, you know I always say that you can't get rid of me. And I know that the rest of the faculty feel that way as well. And when you go out into your fields, whether it's criminal justice or nursing or whatever your field is, when you make the difference in someone else's life, you've made a difference for us. And in advance, we thank you for that.
Congratulations again, Shauna. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker, Mr. Michael Patton. Michael Patton, who holds a Master of Arts degree, is currently the general manager for the Walmart Distribution Center here in Mount Pleasant. He began his Walmart career in 2004, working as an investigator in the Global Security Division. In 2007, he joined logistics as a regional senior manager in asset protection, supporting 9 distribution centers in Texas. In 2010, he was promoted to Senior Director of Compliance, Safety, and Asset Protection, supporting 62 distribution centers across the country. In 2015, Michael was named the General Manager for the E-Commerce Fulfillment Center in Chino, California. In this role, he led the startup of the 1.2 million square foot .com fulfillment center, which now employs over 4,000 associates with responsibility for shipping items direct to customers. Michael grew up in San Diego, California, and then moved with his family to Northwest Arkansas in 1989. He served 5.5 years in the U.S. Army Intelligence Corps with assignments in the 82nd Airborne Division and 7th Special Forces Group at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. After leaving the Army, Michael spent 7 years as a police officer, serving as a detective for 4 years and achieving the rank of sergeant, before leaving law enforcement for Walmart. Mike lives in Danville with his wife, Vanessa, his pet donkeys, and a horse. He is active throughout the Henry County region, and we are so proud to welcome him here today.
Graduates, all of you are going to get a bracelet today that has one word written on it, and it has perseverance is that one word. Continuing effort to achieve something despite challenges, obstacles, and failures. That is the definition of perseverance. You guys have persevered through much to get to this milestone today. We have graduates, Dr. Frazier, from 10 different countries, I believe, and I know those graduates face geographical challenges as well and persevered through those in addition to the other challenges. When I think of perseverance, I think of the year 2020. When I woke up on January 1st, 2020, I was certain about everything. I had so many certainties in my life. In fact, I woke up and I was certain that I was going to go to work and it was going to be essentially the same day that I have day in and day out. I was certain that 2020 was going to be the year my golf game was going to get better. And I'm lying to you guys for a second time, because I tell myself that lie every year. My golf game never gets better, but nevertheless, I still continue to do it. But I was certain that that was going to be the year. Heck, I was certain that I was going to have toilet paper. And we all know how that one turned out, right? Not good, just saying. And then suddenly this thing called COVID-19, it started making landfall in countries across the globe. And then we started hearing words like global and pandemic paired together. And in an instant, all the things we were certain about became uncertain. We lived in a world of uncertainty. We were faced with things like illness, death, mandatory masks, social distancing, shutting down businesses, shutting down the economy. We were uncertain about jobs. We were uncertain whether the supply chain for the United States was going to be strong enough to overcome and persevere through this pandemic. We were uncertain about everything. I can remember a day I was sitting in my office at work, and I'm trying to figure out, how do I lead 700 people through the most challenging times a leader could face with this pandemic and all the uncertainties that we face. And I realized when I was thinking about that I actually learned how to deal with uncertainty from the unlikeliest of places. Let me tell you about a 16-year-old girl who dropped out of high school. She dropped out not because she hated school. She didn't drop out because she was bad at school. She dropped out because I was on the way. You see, that 16-year-old girl was my mother. Now, I've never met my real father. I've never met him to this day. When I was a couple years old, she ended up marrying my stepdad at that time, and she had my middle brother a little while later. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. And when I was about 8 years old, her and my stepdad at that time separated. And so she ended up packing me and my brother up and moved us to San Diego, California, where her parents, my grandparents, resided. She was a single mom with 2 boys. And even back then, Southern California was one of the most expensive cost of livings across the country. You see, my mom was surrounded by uncertainties every single day. She was uncertain about how she was going to make ends meet. She was uncertain about how she was going to pay the bills. She was uncertain at times on what food she was going to put on our table for us. She was uncertain as she woke up and put her feet out of the bed what challenges that day was going to give that she had to overcome. She was uncertain about a lot. But as I recalled that time of uncertainty in my life, I remember she always said her prayers with me and my brother every night. And through those prayers, I can remember what she would say. And as I started to recall that, I realized that actually my mom had these things that I call fundamental certainties. As an example, she was fundamentally certain that people are good. She was fundamentally certain that with hard work and perseverance, you could overcome any obstacle. She was fundamentally certain things would work out, and they happened for a reason. And she was fundamentally certain that her boys were going to go on to do bigger and better things than she ever had the opportunity to achieve. And those fundamental certainties for her never changed. They never wavered. It was the foundation on which she walked on really shaky ground, but that foundation was solid. My challenge to every single one of you is find your fundamental certainties. Use that as your foundation, especially when you're faced with hardships. in a year like we just came through. Find your fundamental certainties. Use that as your foundation and stand upon it. I've got another piece of advice for you, and it's simply this. No matter what you find yourself doing, no matter what career path you choose, connect to the purpose. Find that purpose and connect to it. That purpose is where your passion lies. That's where it sits. And I'm looking at this Air Force guy in the front row, and he's looking at me right now, and he's thinking, man, you heard that from a professor or read that in a leadership book. I said, I can read your mind. Nah, that's not true. It may be in a leadership book, but that's not where I got it. I realized later on that I actually lived my life that way. Let me put my journey as a backdrop for this context of this advice I just gave you. So my first job was the military, where I served about 5.5 years. The purpose of the United States military is to defend our freedoms for this country. Our men and women who put on the uniform every single day, that's what they're there to do. That's their purpose. That was a purpose that resonated with me. I connected to that purpose, and as a result, I did well. Started at the bottom, worked my way up. My next job was law enforcement, where I spent 7 years. And it's tough times for law enforcement across our country right now. I was a people person. You're going to have to take my word for this, but I was never the kind of the cop to tell you to do something because I had a badge and a gun and I was better than somebody else. It's not the way I operated. In fact, one of the reasons I left law enforcement was because I got tired of seeing good people hurting. That's hard. That wears you down. I learned 2 things in my time in law enforcement. There is evil in this world. I've sat across from it. But I've also learned that there's good people who make bad decisions, and they're not the same. And you can't treat people the same. I did learn that. But protecting and serving the community in which I was sworn to do so was the purpose of law enforcement. I connected to that. And as a result, I did well in that environment. When I came to Walmart, I had no idea what purpose I would be serving. I had to come here on a leap of faith because it's important that I connect to that purpose, but I didn't know what that was going to be. And I found that purpose about 4 years into my time at Walmart. I'm going to tell you that story real briefly. So I'm down at a distribution center in Cleburne, Texas, doing a trip. I'm walking with the senior leadership team in the warehouse, and my job is to point out what they're doing well and point out what they're not doing well. I get out on the dock, and there's a quality assurance associate, and she's doing an audit of that trip, and she's counting all the cases that are on this pallet that are going to the store, and her job was to make sure it was accurate. I said, how's your trip audit going? She goes, not good. We're mispicking diapers. I say, what do you mean we're mispicking diapers? She goes, we're shorting the store's diapers. I said, okay, just this trip, or has it been happening for some time? She goes, no, it's been happening for quite a while. I look at the leadership team with me. I say, hey, what's going on with the diapers? Why are we shorting the store's diapers? They're like, yeah, Mike, we're trying to figure it out. We don't know either. So I left the distribution center about 6 p.m. that night. I did not feel like going back to the hotel room, so instead I went down the road to the Walmart Supercenter, and I went to the infant section where the diapers are, and I see empty shelving where I should see cases of diapers. So I pull out my phone. I take some photos of that empty shelving. I put my phone away. I'm about to walk out, and this lady pushing a basket with a little 2-year-old sitting in the little child seat, she almost runs me down. She stops and she apologizes. We start to talk for a minute. And then she asked me, are you with the corporate offices? And I have to look at her with a blank stare because I didn't know how she would ever know that. And I thought she was like Madam Cleo from the 1-800-Psychic line or something. I have no idea. But she said, she could see the confusion in my face. She said, your badge, it looks different than everybody else's. See, a home office badge has your picture on it. It looks completely different than a Walmart store badge. And so I said, yeah, I am with the corporate offices. And at this point in time in Texas, Walmart was under fire in the media for some things that were happening in the Texas market. 99% of that was one-sided. They didn't want to hear our side of the story, as is such the case in a lot of instances, I think. And it's unfortunate, but this is the way it is. And so she asked me this question. She says, hey, you guys are getting beat up in the media. How does that make you feel? And I looked at her for a moment, and I essentially gave her the answer I just gave you guys. I just told her, I think 99% of it is very one-sided. They don't want to hear our side of the story because that doesn't make for good news. There's nothing I can do about it, but it doesn't make me feel good. And she said, well, let me tell you something. When you get back to your home office, will you tell them thank you from me? You see, because I'm a single mother, and without Walmart, I wouldn't be able to put clothes on her back and food on our table. So when you get back, will you tell them thank you? And you see, I told you my story because, see, I was that kid in the basket. I know what it's like to have a mother to struggle. We didn't have Walmart in Southern California back then. My mom didn't have that option. And suddenly at 6:30 p.m. in Cleburne, Texas, Save Money, Live Better. You've probably seen it on our commercials, and you see it on the distribution center walls and in the store walls and the home office walls. Save Money, Live Better, for the first time I realized, was not a slogan. It was actually the purpose of our company. And I connected to that purpose in Cleburne, Texas at 6:30, and I never looked back. Find the purpose, connect to it. That's where your passion sits. Finally, we talked about the pandemic and everything we've gone through, but that wasn't all the challenges we faced and continue to face. You see, social justice and unfortunately social injustices took center stage in this country and across the globe in 2020 and today. We went through the most politically divisive, and challenging election in our country's history. And it seemed to me that we were so divided. We were getting pulled apart as a country, as a people, two sides to every issue. And those gaps and those divides seemed so big that sometimes they were impassable. How are we going to get across? But life is funny because sometimes you learn the biggest life lessons out of the smallest events. Someone will tell you about a time when I was a kid back in California. I was the youngest in the group of friends that I hung around with by about a couple years. And at this time, we rode BMX bikes everywhere. And there was an elementary school behind my neighborhood where we grew up that we'd always ride our bikes at. And it was divided into two sides. You had the side with the school on it. It was the concrete side with the playground, just like everywhere else. And then you had a big concrete ramp that went up about 5 feet into a drainage ditch. And on the other side of that ditch was a dirt lot. And it was huge. And then we would go ride there, and it was separated by about 5 feet in elevation. And it ran the whole length of the school. And so my friends, being older than me, when we were going to go up there and ride our bikes, they would just go real fast ramp, and they'd go up that 5-foot ramp, and they would jump that ditch on the other side, no problem. I couldn't do that. That divide was too big for me. It was too dangerous. I couldn't cross it. And so I would go take a ride of shame all the way down to the far end, find a little path, go up, and come all the way back to the other end. And you can imagine how that ride of shame went for a little kid with a bunch of boyfriends. That sounded weird. Not boyfriends, like, hey, stop it. Not boyfriends, just friends, right? But you can imagine what that was like. The pointing, the fun, the making fun, all the good stuff that goes around with being a kid. Kids can be ruthless. That's the way it is. And I did this time after time again. Until one day, we were going up there to play, and they ramped like normal and jumped it, and I started my ride of shame. And I hear my name, Mike. I turn around, and in the ditch, I can see my friend's head. He got off his bike, and he's in the ditch, and he pulls out a board, just like this one. And he lays this board down across that ditch, and he says, hey, come take your bike across this, right across the board. So I ride across the board, right where all my friends crossed for the very first time. And I can remember getting off my bike and grabbing the board because I was going to hide it so I could use it and never have to take that ride of shame again. And I remember I got to see the playground from a different perspective that I never had gotten to see it before. And so the life lesson for all of us is simply this. When you're faced with two sides of an issue, no matter how big the divide that separates you, are you going to be the person who makes fun of, who talks about, and does nothing? Or are you going to be the person who stops and looks for the board and lays that board down so that you or somebody else can traverse that divide and gain a different perspective? Be the person who's willing to look forward and have the courage to lay that board down for yourself or someone else. It could make all the difference. So in conclusion, I want you to find your fundamental certainties, use those as your foundation, connect to the purpose, and be willing to find the board and lay it down over any divide that you face on any issue. President Plunkett, Dr. Frazier, Iowa Wesleyan faculty and staff, thank you for this honor, for being here with you today. I want to thank my wife of 23 years. She's my rock. I would accomplish nothing without her. I want to thank my mother. I work hard tirelessly every day of my life as the only way I know how to give her thanks for the sacrifices she made for me. And to all the graduates, I want to congratulate you on this milestone. You achieved this not under normal circumstances. You achieved this having to persevere challenges that I could only dream of heading into 2020. You should be proud of that. May God bless you on your journey from here forward. Thank you for letting me be part of your day today. Thank you. Congratulations.
tearing up some stuff for me there, Mike. Appreciate it. Oh, need your mask too. Are you sure you did just take my mask? Did I? Yeah, it's yours. Is this your mask right here? I'm not saying that my breath's the best in the world, but I want to exchange that with you. It's truly all of our prayer that each of us find and demonstrate that resiliency, that perseverance that you so elegantly described in your address. Your career, Mike, and your entire life is certainly a model that we can aspire to emulate. And I can say this, and I've never met her a day in my life, but I am certain, and that is a certainty, that your mom's very proud of you, very proud of you. Many of us, like Mike, are first-generation college students. And today we stand at the apex of our education, earning our college degrees. May each of you be that plank of wood to help others, to demonstrate love to our fellow neighbors. Audience, please take a look at the screens on both sides of the stage for this presentation we're going to do. Coach Hampton, please turn off the lights for us. All the photos that were submitted by our students and faculty are going to be in here. We had to cut it down quite a bit because we did receive quite a few photos, but every student that sent a photo is represented. Enjoy our video as you take a trip down memory lane to have a glimpse of the amazing young men and women who are graduating today. It is in moments like these that we truly dream and aspire for a better tomorrow. And you are the ones that are going to accomplish this in our cities, our states, and our countries. Now, sit back and enjoy A Million Dreams, Tiger style.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my home. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say about the mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I get there, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I can buy, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy.
So now we've come to the part that everybody's waiting for, our presentation of graduates. I'll ask our president to come to the main podium. Will all the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees please stand? Everyone. Each one of you. Madam President, upon completion of their course of study as prescribed by Iowa Wesleyan University and upon recommendation of our faculty, I present to you these candidates for the conferring of the Bachelor's of Science degree, the Bachelor's of Arts, the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, and the Bachelor's of General Studies degree. President?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Iowa Wesleyan University, and in accordance with the laws of the state of Iowa, I confer upon each of you the baccalaureate degree to which you are entitled, with all of the rights, duties, and responsibilities and privileges pertaining thereto, having successfully completed the prescribed course of study and having been recommended by the faculty to the Board of Trustees, and having been commended by a motion of the Board of Trustees to that effect. And now I invite you to come across the stage and accept your diploma.
Please be seated. The way the program will work today, our Board of Trustee Chair, Bob Miller, will be standing there. You'll do a fist bump with him before you walk off the stage. President Plunkett will be here with your diploma cover. We have a professional photographer, one of our graduates right here, that will be taking the photos, Amy. So make sure that you pause and enough to watch for this photo to be taken. I have Miss Diane beside me. Make sure you hand your name. She will not let you by. I know, I've tried. So give her the name tag. I'll practice real quick with you, and you'll walk across to get your photo with the president. A couple quick things to the audience as well. There will be students wearing different color sashes representing flags from around the world. We will tell you the country that's represented there. Plus also with our military, we also wear sashes for those that actually have served in the military. And if you'll look in your programs, I'd like to direct your attention to where there's an explanation about the 3 levels of Latin honors and the silver medal of academic distinction. You'll see students with the medallion around their neck. Candidates, when you proceed to the platform, I will read your name and then step forward for the professional photo, and you'll get your degree from the president. As we go through this entire group, we'll go through and it'll integrate May and August graduates from 2020 and 2021. So, for the part we all waited for, please stand, first row, and come forward. David Adams, summa cum laude. Jasmine Joanne Rodriguez, summa cum laude. Second row, please come up. Lead my way there, Paul. Dylan Gaylor, Air Force. Paul Emil Dixon II. Last night to make sure I got it right. Sydney Page Cormany, cum laude. Roshi Shashi, magna cum laude. Roshi, as we call her Rosie, is wearing the flag of Nepal. Family and friends are watching in Kathmandu. Allison Renee Pierce. Luz Maria Lenaldi. Rebecca Leah Peshu. Carly Hyde. Sarah J. Duos. Sarah's flag represents the country of Sudan. Next row, please come forward. Perfect, got it. Your last name again is Bacharo Awaki, cum laude. Today, she's wearing the flag that represents the country of Malawi. Richard Paul Dickey Neves from Good day to Australia. Our 2020 President's Award winner, coming back for the service today, another very proud person, Anthony E. Washington III. Ariel Christine Dahlstrom, summa cum laude. Next row, come forward. Alan Lipkin, cum laude. Madison Christine Pumphrey, summa cum laude. Allison Rose Bowen, summa cum laude. Allie Michelle McCarter, summa cum laude. Next row, please come forward. Brooklyn Yater, cum laude. Rebecca K. Maury, cum laude. Oh. Hannah M. Gear. George Chappell, magna cum laude, from that famous U.S. colony known as England. Just kidding. Allie Brookhart, summa cum laude. Representative Joe Mitchell. Joseph Lee Mitchell, magna cum laude. Chelsea L. Page, cum laude. Are you ready? Next row. Morgan knows what she's doing. She's already coming. Addison Elizabeth Westerkamp, cum laude. Morgan Page Christner, magna cum laude. Madison Catherine Osborne. We're just going to say Anna Lytle, summa cum laude. To our great friends watching in Canada, Anna is wearing the flag of Canada. Emma Thomas, magna cum laude. Next row, come forward. June Shong Cook, summa cum laude. Hello to June's family watching in Australia. Thank you for joining us. Ronnie Williams, magna cum laude. Billy Williams. Jarrett John Fernandez. To the Fernandez family in Australia, he made it. My French. Rooks Camlin de Rossier, magna cum laude. Paulo Ancona, cum laude. Today he's wearing the flag of Italy. You just want David to look over the whole name, Christian David? Yeah. Gotcha. Christian David Hulaka Mora. That's it. Christian is from Ecuador and is wearing the flag of Ecuador. Cody Ronan Cardenas. You want the Cardenas. Cody Ronan Cardenas. There you go. Oh, there it is. You ready? Michaela Cruzy. Clayton D. Lathan. Next row coming forward. Everett Michael Swenson. Jaquez the Twister Hall. Brianna Lynn Smith. From Costa Rica, David E. Chavez Duran. Pue S. Tombre. To our friends in Nigeria, hello. Wallace Wally Williams the second. Man, oh, you left me. A Kenyan J. AJ Bagley. Matthew Christopher Whaley. Next row, come forward. Andrew Sean Harris, magna cum laude. Good job, buddy. Army, right? Representing our U.S. military and Army, Jordan Van Dyke. Seth A. Johnson, cum laude. Ready? Also from Great Britain and England, Christopher Rimmer. Wearing the beautiful flag of Wales, Yayan Scott Ridout. Brandon Michael Davillier. Australia, right? I just get the New Zealand thing messing me up sometimes. He's the red on it. Jack Connor DeBerg, cum laude. Jack is representing Down Under, Australia. Ashley DeMeyer, cum laude. Trent Teddy Pascal. Dimitri Duncan. Let's all give a round of applause once again for all these distinguished graduates and all of their families here at Iowa Wesleyan. Please allow me to welcome to the center podium our Director of Alumni Engagement, Diane Davis.
Good afternoon. I am honored to be the first to congratulate you on your achievements and welcome you as the newest alumni of Iowa Wesleyan University. Your college experience was certainly impacted by an unprecedented worldwide pandemic. However, your hard work, persistence, resilience, and determination have paid off. As an Iowa Wesleyan University graduate, continue to be a tiger, tenacious, inspired, global, engaged, and respectful. Take risks, collaborate with others, be inclusive and community-minded, be deliberate, and be honest, ethical, and full of integrity. Your ongoing allegiance to these ideals, which you have upheld as a student, will serve you well in the months and years to come. I also encourage you to stay connected with your alma mater. Keep in touch. Come back and visit campus often. Support your Tigers. We would love to have you involved in the future. In addition, I would ask and want to learn from each of you, what can Iowa Wesleyan do for you? These conversations and relationships will move us forward collectively to be the best we can be. I now invite you as confirmed graduates to turn your tassel from right to left, thus signifying the completion of your journey from a student to an alum of Iowa Wesleyan University. I wish each of you the best now and in the future. Continue to be more, be the difference, be passionate, and most importantly, be you. God bless you, and again, my congratulations.
In just a moment, we'll be inviting Professor Blair Buffington and the choir to perform the Wesleyan hymn. Please stand as we sing and remain standing for the benediction. The benediction will be led by Pastor Brock Wagner. So please stand. Music will be here. And then after that, we'll have the sending song by IW Choir. Professor Buffington, the floor is yours.
To our graduates, go with passion, have a purpose, know that you can persevere. You are not alone, for look around you, there are many with you, those who have gone before, those who have come with you, and those who are yet to be. And for all who are here, go out into the world and make a difference. It could be something little, but it could make something very big for someone else. Amen.
A big thanks for all the outstanding music through the program, our choir, our music program, Professor Carl Moman. Once again, thank you. Just a couple quick announcements and we are out of here. Thanks to the academic affairs team for all the work, especially the registrar's team and Associate Dean Megan Hills and the entire office there. A special thanks to our commencement committee for the work they did to help make these videos and everything ready to go today. And as always, a very, very special thanks to my right and my left hand, the most integral part of my office, Patty Carson. You're much appreciated wherever you are back working here in this building. Thank you to our faculty, our student marshals, and thank you to our entire platform party for making this a special service today. A couple quick directions. When we march out, we'll be marching through around here and be going right out into the grassy area on this side. So please let us go out first, and then all the families will be coming out of that door, and you can meet with all of us outside right over here. I leave you today with the words from one of the most famous Iowa Wesleyan graduates of all time. Her mentor and her faculty advisor stands before me. Dr. D.P. Wilson is closing in on 60 years of teaching. Never seen it in my career before, so thank you. This amazing Iowa Wesleyan graduate is the longest serving astronaut in the history of the U.S., and she is the very first female commander of the International Space Station, our own Dr. Peggy Whitson. She had this to say, and I quote, "I would certainly encourage young people to pursue their dreams. It isn't going to be always easy, that path, but it's going to be worth going after. And I figure if a farmer's daughter from rural Iowa can become an astronaut, you guys can just about do anything that you want to do. Thank you, guys. God bless you, and we'll start the processional.